Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So in last episode, we took on the Winnipeg Jets in the second round of the playoffs, and now we're in the conference finals, which I didn't really expect this team to do so, against the Edmonton Oilers, who had a really interesting season despite having like McDavid and stuff like that. They went 43, 34, and 5, so they barely got into the playoffs, and now they're in the conference finals, which makes me think that they're going to end up winning the Stanley Cup this year, and hopefully that's not the case because I would like to go to the Cup finals. But this year has been a very successful year for our young team otherwise. Now in the last round when we played the Winnipeg Jets, it was kind of an interesting series. It was definitely tougher than the first round series we had against the Sharks. As you can see, we won game 1 4-3 in overtime, then we won 4-2, then we had won 2-1. So we had a 3-0 series lead, and it was like, okay, this team looks like we could easily go on to the conference finals. But then the Winnipeg Jets won 2 straight games, and one of them had 7 goals, which we decided to put Jack Campbell in the net, and he was terrible. And so I kind of got a little bit scared that our team was going to blow a 3-0 lead. But luckily, in Game 6, we won that game in overtime 5-4 to advance to the first conference finals the Coyotes have had, I think, since like 2012, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was somewhere around there. I remember them playing in the conference finals before, but anyways, we are going to be taking on the Edmonton Oilers, who are going to be probably tougher than the Jets. Even though they had a worse season than the Jets, I think we are going to have a tough time with them because they do have obviously some really good players, but their bottom six doesn't seem to be producing as much, like I'll show you guys when we get to there. Now, we do have one comment to go over, and it's from Dylan Burrows. He says, there's no way you're letting go of a Lenefeld. So I think for next season, we're probably going to keep a Lenefeld, and we're going to drop Jack Campbell to free agency because Jack Campbell is getting older. So I think we'll probably lock up a Lenefeld for a decently long-term deal, and then Wallstead will probably be our backup next season instead of Campbell, just because Campbell is like the older of the guys. He only wants $2 million, but he's probably going to drop off, while Lenefeld is still young, and we could probably lock him up for like 5 years at like $5 million, and hopefully he's a good enough goalie for those 5 years. But I think that's what we'll probably end up doing in the off season. But anyways, that is that, and that was the only comment we got. So let me take a quick look at the Edmonton Oilers lines again, just in case you guys don't remember, and then we will get into this conference finals matchup. But as I was mentioning, the Oilers didn't have a great regular season, but they do have a pretty solid looking team. As you can see, they have Yamamoto, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins on that top line, obviously McDavid being a 97 overall. And as you can see, the top line is pretty much all around point per game, like 11 points for Yamamoto. McDavid's over point per game, not a surprise, 16 points. And Nugent Hopkins has 12 points in 13 games. So that top line's been good. You get to the second line, I think Zach Hyman must have missed some games due to injury in the playoffs because he's only got 3 points in 8 games. Then you got Draisaitl, who's over point per game, or actually at point per game, never mind. And Puljujärvi, who's close to point per game. So once again, the top 6 is doing good. But then you get into like the third line, you got Foegele, who's only got 1 goal in 13 games. Lavoie, who's got 3 points. And Elvins, who only has 1 goal. So that third line has been really quiet. And then the fourth line has Giovanni Smith, who has 2 goals only. Kyra's got no points, and then Nieto's only got 4 points. So that bottom 6 has been really quiet, which is kind of a surprise considering how good this team is. But yeah, we just got to basically shut down that top 6, and then we definitely have a chance of beating these guys, I think. And on defense, though, as well, their defensive core hasn't really been putting up much points, which is kind of a surprise. Like, Nurse only has 1 assist. Bouchard's only got 2 points. And as you can see, Damon Severson's pretty much been their best defenseman point-wise. So their defensive core has been kind of interesting in how it's simulating. It's a really good defensive core, but they don't really score a lot. So it seems like they're more of a defensively minded team than offensive. And then goaltending-wise, Ilya Samsonov is obviously a really good goalie, and they also have a good backup. Well, I guess a good old backup in Brian Elliott, who used to be a really good goalie at his prime. So that's pretty much that, and depth-wise, they have these guys. So overall-wise, I don't really know if we're going to be able to beat them because containing McDavid and Draisaitl is going to be definitely tough. But if we could do so, I think we have a chance because that bottom 6 has been really quiet. So hopefully it continues to be quiet, and hopefully it doesn't wake up in this conference finals. Now, quickly, before we actually get into game number 1, I also want to take a quick look at how they did during the regular season in terms of goals for and stuff like that, because I'm kind of curious on how their season went. Because if we look, we had, let's go to Western Conference. We were the best team in the Western Conference with 113 points, but then you have the Oilers had 91 points. They finished 6th best in the Western Conference, which is kind of a surprise. They scored 273 goals, so offense wasn't really much of a problem, but it was goals against that was a problem. But now goals against is actually doing really good in this playoffs, so that means that they might not be, they might end up being a better team than expected. Their power play was apparently worse than us as well, but they had a better penalty kill. Interesting. Okay, so that is that. Let's get into this conference finals appearance and see if we can go to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals, or are we going to be knocked out by a team that just finished above 500, which I feel like is going to be the case. Winner of this will face either Philadelphia or Ottawa in the Stanley Cup Finals. But here we go. We got home ice advantage, obviously. Let's get into game number 1 and see if we could take a 1-0 series lead here and get used to this home ice advantage that we have. First period, and it's scoreless. Okay, I'll definitely take that. But we are being outshot 14-5, which is not a good sign. That definitely means their offensive guns like McDavid have been shooting a lot, and our offensive guns haven't been shooting a lot. So hopefully we can get a little bit more chances in that second period. Second period, and we're up 2-0. Let's go. That's a good way to start it off. Yoki Haru scores. I believe that's his first goal of the playoffs. And then Dylan Guenther scored. Both of them are late goals in that second period too. Shots are 25-15 in favor of the Oilers, but we're up 2-0. Let's see if we can lock this one down here in the third. But Lenefeld is playing really good so far this postseason. Definitely liking his play, and Dylan is definitely right about giving him a good contract, I think. Penalty kill. Damn it. Draisaitl scores. Yep. As I expected, that top 6 was going to get goals. And Calvin Shelley, though, with a big answer to put us up 3-1 late. Final few minutes of play, and they get one late by Nugent Hopkins on Lenefeld, but that goal from Calvin Shelley late is going to be the game winner in game 1, as we have taken a 1-0 series lead despite being outshot 36-24. So I would say that was a pretty good game for Lenefeld, and then the offense, I guess, just clicked on their chances. But if Shelley didn't score that late goal, we would have went to probably overtime in that game. Let's take a look at the players' stats in that game. So Yoki Haru from Shelley, Guenther from Samorukov and Hayton, and Shelley from Farinacci and Agostino. So Shelley's been waking up a lot as of lately, which is really good because obviously he is our best scorer on the team. Plus minus wise, we only had a couple minus players, which were, I believe that's the 4th line, so not terrible. And yeah, another really good performance from Lenefeld. He's proven himself to be a good playoff goalie. 3 stars in that game. Lenefeld the 1st star, Shelley the 2nd star, and Leon Draisaitl the 3rd. So McDavid had no points in that game, I don't think, right? Let me just check. Oh no, he had 1 assist. Okay. But still, McDavid did not score any goals. He hasn't been scoring a lot of goals in this playoffs, and Dylan Guenther's losing morale because of ice time. That's not good. I don't know how to give him more ice time because I believe he's on the power play right now, and then he's also getting like top 6 time. He's 3rd line. Oh yeah, I know that's Gauthier. Damn, they look the exact same when you look at them. But Guenther's getting 2nd line ice time. He's also getting no power play time. I could try and throw him in instead of Ponomarev. I don't really want to change up our power play lines, but I need to get Guenther more ice time. So I'll throw Guenther in on that power play unit. And we'll also throw him in here instead of Ponomarev. And hopefully that does enough for Guenther, because we do not want Guenther to lose morale because he's one of our top guns as well. I don't know how long term he's going to be with this team because we do have a lot of better younger guys, but we'll see. Okay, so that was game number 1. Let's get into game number 2 because we have a back-to-back situation here on home ice. Let's see if we could take a 2-0 series lead here on the Oilers. Come on, boys. First period, and we're up 1-0. Let's go. Jacob Chikrin scores. He's been also playing pretty damn good as of late. He had a quiet first round early, but the second round he really helped us out a lot. Shots are 10-9 in favor of your Coyotes. Second period, and we're up 2-0. Let's go. Braden Tracy, the 4th liner, coming through with a goal. Shots are 24-13 in favor of us. We're up 2-0 once again going into the third. Let's see if we could lock this one down here. Come on, boys. But yeah, this team is playing really good so far. We just got to keep it up. Penalty kill, nicely done. And there's a 3-0 goal from Calvin Shelley, who beats Brian Elliott. So I don't know if their goalie got injured or not, or if he just got pulled from the game early. Hopefully it was a goalie injury. Kyra breaks the shutout. Of course, he gets his first point, and Genther gets the empty net. And we're going to win 4-1, so another good game from Malenefeld. And yeah, we have a 2-0 series lead in the conference finals, which is pretty awesome. Didn't expect that, to be honest. So Chikrin from Jenner, Tracy from Armia and Geeky, Shelley's 8th from Agostino, and Genther from Zadina and Chikrin. 3 stars in that game. Chikrin the first star, Tracy the second star, and Malenefeld the third. Let's take a look, see any minus lines or not. No minus players, that's good. And yep, another strong performance from Malenefeld. But did their goalie get injured is the question, because Samsonov started the game, only allowed 2 goals on 24 shots, and then Elliott played the last 20 minutes. So if Samsonov got injured, we might have a better shot of beating the Oilers, which would be nice. And Soderstrom has been injured for us, which is not good. He's out till May the 26th, so that's a big injury. And I guess we're going to have to move Timmins up. And who's going to play defense? Do we have a depth defenseman? We have Janice Jerome Moser. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's not really a great fit. I think I'm going to call up Tukinen again, and Tukinen can play in the playoffs instead of JJ Moser. But that's a really big loss, losing Soderstrom. So yeah, we'll call up Tukinen since the AHL team's not in the playoffs anymore. But hopefully Tukinen can help out our NHL team. We'll just go best lines down there since they're not playing anymore. And we'll take out JJ Moser, who apparently actually isn't a minus, never mind. But we'll throw in Tukinen, and we will give him maybe some top line time. Let me just see if this has any negative consequences. Let's go back to our line screen. Make sure that chemistry is good, because that chemistry thing kind of glitched out a little bit, I think. You're going to want to find the best chemistries possible. I guess that's the best chemistries possible. So yeah, Tukinen's going to get a big shot to play on the top pairing with Jacob Chikrin, which is also going to give him, I believe, some power play time as well. It does actually make it a minus throwing Tukinen on there, which is not nice, but we're going to have to make it work for now. So that's good. Okay. So with let me just take a look at that injury thing just to see if Samsonov's injured for them, but Soderstrom's out for us, which is a major loss on the defensive front. But is Samsonov injured for them? He is not. That's interesting. He just got yanked after 2 goals, or maybe he had kind of a temporary injury that he's already back from. I don't know. But that really sucks. I was hoping that he'd be injured. But anyways, let's get into game number 3. We're without one of our top defensemen. Let's see if we could still win and contain these Oilers or not. First period of game number 3 in Edmonton, and we're down 1-0 as Darnell Nurse scores. I believe that's one of his first points of the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. We're being outshot 13-9, but we're down only by 1 goal, which is good. Hopefully we could tie it up in the second period. Second period, and we're down 3-0. Damn. McDavid and Draisaitl score, of course. Now is when the team is going to drop 2 straight games, right? Oh no, this is not good. We're down 3-0. The shots are 21-19, so it's been still pretty even in terms of chances, but not a great game so far from Malenefeld, which is to be expected because he's been really good in some games, and then some games where he's lost, he's just not been that good. So third period underway. Let's see if we could get any goals back here in the third, or are we going to get shut out in game 3? I think that Soderstrom injury is probably hurting us a little bit. That could be maybe why we're losing this game. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Can we get at least 1 goal in this third period, please, boys, or no? Nope, doesn't look like it. Yep, we're going to get shut out in game number 3 in Edmonton, unfortunately, but I wouldn't say it's a terrible game, but our offense just didn't click. Let me just see who is minus in that game. Yeah, quite a bit of minus players. It's not good. A lot of -2s. We might have to make some line changes, because putting Tukinen in the lineup is not a bad option, but it just really sucks that Soderstrom's out, because I don't think he's back until next round if we get there, right? Let me just take a look at that injury report. How long is he out for? He's out till the 26th, so yeah, he's out quite long term, which is a major loss on our defensive front and could end up losing us the series. But let's make some line changes to try and get this team going a little bit more. So what can we do here? Shaker down makes that a +2, but I don't want to move him down because he's our best defender. Yeah, there's not really anything I could do with this defensive core. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to keep it like that. And then goalies are obviously going to stay the same. We could always throw in a random depth forward, but I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to move Geeky back up and move Jenner back down for a little change. And then I think the rest is going to stay the same. Ooh. -6 for Connor Geeky. Yeah, he was not doing that good on that fourth line. Or maybe it's that penalty kill. No, he's not really on the penalty kill. I don't know what's the minus problem then. But there we go. Those are the only line changes we're going to move is Geeky back to the third line and Jenner back down and seeing if that helps us out because Jenner's more of a defensive player than Geeky is. And hopefully he can keep the puck out in that on that fourth line. But let's get into Game 4 and see if we could take a 3-1 series lead here. Or are we going to have a tie series headed back home? Hopefully that's not going to be the case. Come on, boys. First period, and we're down 3-0. So Lenefeld has dropped the ball completely here so far, which is not good. He had a really good first 2 games, but the Oilers are really good on home ice, it seems like. We're down 3-0 after 1. Shots are 13-10 in favor of them. So there's a chance that Jack Campbell could be in the lineup now. I'm not 100% sure. Second period, then we're down 4-0. Broberg scores. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to even score a single goal in Edmonton so far, which is not a good sign. But I don't know if I should play Lenefeld next game because he seems like he might be getting a little bit tired. So I might have to give a chance to Jack Campbell, even though Campbell blew his only game. Tracy scores a goal. So that's our first goal in Edmonton in these first 2 games here. Farinacci makes it 4-2, okay. And that's going to be it. So we get 2 late goals, but it is not enough. And we're going to lose 4-2 in game number 4. And there is a tie series headed back home again. So Tracy from Chikrin and Armia and Farinacci from Agostino. Yeah, Samsonov has also woken up. He's a lot better than he was earlier in the series. I think I might take a Lenefeld out of the lineup. Soderstrom has returned already. That is huge news. Didn't expect him to return this fast, but he is going to be playing with an injury, which kind of sucks. I think I am going to send down JJ Moser, though, because Tukinen's a better depth option than Moser is. So I'll send down Moser. And that should be pretty much good on that front. And we will take Tukinen out of the lineup for Soderstrom. And that is good again. Perfect. So yeah, Tukinen's going to be scratched, which I don't really like, but he is going to stay there for now. We could always take somebody like Yoki Haru out of the lineup if he's not been that good, which he's been okay defensively. So far we'll just leave it the same. The question is for goaltending, do I try Jack Campbell for a game? Like, he was really bad in his 1 game he played. Because I don't know if Lenefeld's going to get too tired or not. You know what, I'm going to keep Lenefeld for this game, but if he doesn't play good this game, then I think we have to give the next game to Jack Campbell, just because I feel like Lenefeld, if he plays too much games consecutively, he's going to just not do as well as he was earlier in. So I think that might be our only changes, putting Soderstrom back in the lineup. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we're going to change for now. Let's get into Game 5 and see if we can not drop 3 straight games, because that would not be good. Come on, boys. Let's see if we can take a 3-2 series here. First period, and we're up 1-0. Again, another home game where we actually have the lead. So we're good on home ice, but not good on the road, it seems like, right now. Shots are 12-6 in favor of the Oilers, so we definitely need to get more chances. But at least Agostino has us a goal so far. Second period, and it's 5-2 for us. Jeez, that was a big offensive period. Kyra scores to tie the game at 1, but then Genther gives us the lead. Draisaitl ties it back up, and then Armia, Farinacci, and Hayton score. So 3 different lines score, and we have a 5-2 lead going into the third. Shots are 20 apiece, but we're up by 3 goals. Let's see if we can not blow this in the third, because I have seen blown leads like this before, as Tracy makes it 6-2. Let's go. But yeah, this is a really good offensive performance by comparison to the prior year. So once Soderstrom's in the lineup, it seems like our team is a bit better. Final 5 minutes, we're still up 6-2, so we're definitely going to be taking a 3-2 series lead headed to Edmonton, where we're going to be looking for our first win of the series on the road. But a nice 6-2 victory. Let's take a look at the player stats. So Agostino from Chikrin and Soderstrom. Genther from Hayton and Zadina, Armia from Tracy and Jenner, Farinacci from Agostino and Chikrin, Hayton from Zadina and Genther, and Tracy from Jenner and Armia. Let's take a look at those player stats. Any minus players? No minus players on the team. That's good to see. And another solid goaltending performance from Lenefeld, so I'm glad I kind of kept him in. So seems like he might be a good goalie on home ice, and then he's just not good on the road. Or maybe he just needs to take like a little bit of a breather now and again. I don't know what the case is, but that's good that he was good that game. 3 stars in that game are Armia, Genther, and Hayton. So very interesting to see 3 different lines, I think, all in the top 3 stars. Okay, so we have a 3-2 series lead headed to Edmonton. Now comes the thing if we could actually knock them out. It's another back-to-back situation, which really sucks because, well, actually last time we had a back-to-back, we won both of them really good. So maybe this is a blessing in disguise, back-to-back games. But if we win this game, we go on to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in franchise history. If we lose this, we go to a Game 7 situation back on home ice. So that's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to keep our lines the same because we just had a good offensive game. But I'm kind of skeptical about us playing in Edmonton because considering the last 2 games in Edmonton, we were outscored 7-2. It's kind of scary. But maybe this team is going to wake up since it's a back-to-back situation. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into game number 6 and see if we can close this one out and go to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals. Come on, boys. First period of game number 6. And it's scoreless. I'll definitely take that over beating down like 3-0. Shots are 12-11 in favor of us, so our offense is getting some chances, but Samsonov has been good on home ice for them so far. Second period, and we're down 2-1. Not good. Braden Tracy opened the scoring on a short-handed goal, which is nice, but Nieto and Gavrikov score, and they're up 2-1 going into the third. Shots are 26-24 in favor of them, but we're only down by 1 goal. Let's see if we can tie this one up and maybe force OT. And we try it up early. Braden Tracy, okay. Braden Tracy has been a pretty solid player in this playoffs. Come on, boys. Let's get that next one. Final 9 minutes of this third period of a crucial Game 6. Final 5 minutes. Who's going to score a goal, or are we going to go to overtime? And in fact, we are going to be not going to overtime. Oh my god, that is a crucial... Oh my god. I don't even really know what to say to that. We just won the conference finals against the Oilers because Filip Zadina... People said to trade him away at the trade deadline. Well, he scores a goal with 5 seconds remaining in Game 6. And we're off to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals appearance in franchise history. And we're only in 2026, which is pretty awesome. Damn, I was not expecting us to win in 6 games because I felt like we had to go to a 7-game situation. But the final shots in that game were 40-32. And Filip Zadina with a big clutch goal late to win us the game. And Tracy had some good goals in that game as well. A short-handed goal in that game. But we're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Wow. I did not expect that at all. So Tracy from Hayton, Tracy from Armia, and then Zadina from Hayton and Genther. But this young team has been amazing so far. And we have a lot of young guys in the system too that could honestly be in the NHL lineup next year as well, which is good. Geeky was a -2 in that game, so Geeky has been kind of struggling defensively. Don't really like that. Goaltending-wise, Lenefeld once again was phenomenal. And 3 stars of that game, Tracy, Lenefeld, and Zadina. So, yeah, Lenefeld is probably one of the best goalies in Arizona Coyotes history at this point, just because he's the first one to get to a Stanley Cup Finals. And then, yeah, Tracy and Zadina were both pretty good in that game as well. Of course, Zadina scoring so late, though. Damn. Let me just take a look at the shot chart. Yeah, we dominated them in the third period, and that's why we won 16-6. And face-offs, they out-face-offed us, which is not a surprise with McDavid and Draisaitl. But we're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. Did not expect that. It's either against Ottawa or Philadelphia, and both of them are going to a Game 7 situation. And we will find out who that is in a second as we're going to take a look at our player stats and our team stats so far, just to see what we've been doing good at so far this playoff run. But so far, Hayton has 18 points in 16 games. Farinacci has 15 points. He still needs a contract extension this offseason. Jenner has 9 points. Jenner's been amazing so far. Like, he's outplaying Clayton Keller. Probably. Connor McDavid, 3 points in 16 games and a -7. So that's where it kind of gets a little skeptical, is like the bottom 6 to an extent. Geeky's been terrible. I don't know why he's been this bad. It's probably because he's a young player, but yeah, his plus minus in the playoffs is not good. Minus 12 in 23 games, and he has not scored a playoff goal so far. Then Ponomarev only 1 assist in 16 games. As for left wingers, Genther 14 points is pretty damn good. Zadina's got 13, Agostino's got 13, and Tracy's got 10. And right winger wise, Calvin Shelley's got 12 points, Armia's got 7 points, and Gaucher's got 4 only. So our depth scoring has been pretty good. If we look at our forward core, a lot of players with over 10 points in 16 games, which is pretty impressive, and only a couple minus players. And those two are Ponomarev and Geeky. And I don't know if both of them are on penalty kills or what, but Geeky has been terrible defensively, and Ponomarev hasn't been that great, but everybody else has been plus, which is good. As for defensemen for points, Chikrin's got 13 and 16, Timmins has got 6 and 16, Soderstrom's got 4 and 14, but he's a plus 8. Bodain's got 2 points, Jokiharju 2 points, Sam Rukov 1 point, and Tukinen had nothing in 2 games, but he had 7 shots on goal in those 2 games, which is kind of crazy. Interesting. And then goaltending wise, obviously Hugo Lenefeld has been a beast. He's 12 and 3 with a .920 save percentage and a 2.34. And then Jack Campbell was terrible in the 1 game he played. But we're going to our first ever Stanley Cup Finals. Let's take a look at who we are going to be playing for that Stanley Cup. Who is it going to be? Is it Philadelphia or Ottawa? It's going to be the Ottawa Senators. Of course, we have to play my favorite team. We have home ice advantage, which is good. They finished 47, 33, and 2. But this is going to be an interesting series playing against my favorite team for the Stanley Cup, of course. Let's take a look at what their lines look like, as well as, take a look at both teams' team stats, because I didn't do that yet. But let's see what the Ottawa Senators are made of. So, top line has Brady Tkachuk, Connor Bedard. Of course, they drafted Connor Bedard. I forgot about that. And Connor Brown. So, really good first line. Connor Brown, I guess, jumped up statistically to an 89. He's been crazy good in this playoff run so far. Second line-wise has Colin White with Tim Stützle and Benoit Olivier Gruel. So, that top 6 is pretty damn gross, especially that first line. And then Stützle on the second line is really good. Third line is also really good. You got Formenton, Norris, and Vitrano. And a fourth line of Lehkonen, Batherson, and Dzingel. Jeez. Yeah, this is a nasty looking team. This is going to be pretty tough, I think. And then defensively, they're also really good. And they're playing Sean Monahan as a defenseman. What? Yeah, they've been playing him like regularly as a defenseman, it looks like, this year. I think. I don't know for sure. But they got Devin Taves and Eric Brandstrom, which is really good because you got a good defensive defenseman, and you got Brandstrom. You got Thompson and Forsling and Dillon and Monahan. I don't know why they're playing Monahan. They might have a defensive injury. That's always a chance. And then goalie-wise, they have Saros, who has been pretty solid. And they also have Casey DeSmith. Depth-wise, they do have... Actually, Thomas Chabot is out with an injury. Okay, so I can see why Monahan's playing defense now. And Pinto is scratched, which is kind of a bummer. But Chabot is injured. Which means if Monahan was in the lineup, they might scratch like Drake Batherson, which is crazy. But that team with Monahan in the forward lineup is gross. And hopefully Chabot is out long term, because if Chabot returns, this defensive core becomes even better. But overall wise, that is a very tough team, and it's going to be interesting to see who wins that. So that is that. Let me take a look at how long Chabot is out for before we look at the team stats. And then, yeah, hopefully we could beat this Ottawa Senators team. But yeah, hopefully Chabot's out long term. He is out pending evaluation, so he must have recently got injured, which is good for us going into the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay, that's good. Hopefully it's a long-term injury and that keeps him out till like a Game 7 if we are to go to a Game 7, that type of thing. So, that is that. Let's take a look at how they did during the playoffs so far. What is their bread and butter? Is it their offense? Is it their defense? That type of thing. So let's go entire league-wise, and let's just go based off wins so we can have both of our teams at the top here. So far they are 12-6. We are 12-4. We have a bit better offensive than they are. They're a little bit better defensively than us. We have a worse power play by a little bit. And penalty kill wise, they're a little bit better. So they're better special teams wise and defensively, while we're better offensively, which is interesting. We're 7-1 on home ice, 5-3 on the road. They're 7-2 on home ice and 5-4 on the road. Yeah, 3 shorthanded goals as well, so that's a little bit scary. Let me take a look at how they did during the regular season, because I'm kind of interested on that as well. So let's go to the Eastern Conference. And Ottawa, they finished 47-33-2. They scored 3.4 goals per game, 307 against. So looks like their defense wasn't that great during the regular season. And in power play percentage was still solid. Penalty kill was terrible, but apparently it's really good in the playoffs. And they had 7 shorthanded goals. Interesting. So that is that. How did they get to the Stanley Cup Finals as well? They managed to knock out the Tampa Bay Lightning in the first round. Then they took out the Toronto Maple Leafs, which is a good team again. They took out the Flyers, and now they're going to be playing against us. And so far, they've went to a Game 5, a Game 6, and a Game 7, which means they're probably going to sweep us. If I'm going to be honest. Because that usually happens when you win like one of each type of round, is the finals ends up being a sweep. Yikes, I hope we don't get swept in the finals. That would be terrible. So that is that, and I think that's pretty much going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the Stanley Cup Finals against the Ottawa Senators as we look to win our first ever Stanley Cup, or the Ottawa Senators might end up winning their first ever Stanley Cup as well. Who knows? So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.